Yes, 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 yes. Okay. We back with another call today. Hey, we appreciate y'all, man. We really, really appreciate y'all joining and coming on in. Like Lim say, come on in here. And so at the end of the day, we got a good one this week, man. I'm gonna introduce young Lim, King Lim. You say something to the people, King Lim.
Hey, we miss y'all. I miss you guys. We back. We're gonna keep bringing you great content over and over, week after week. We appreciate y'all. Please keep coming back.
Come on in. Come on in. Um, we waiting for Rome, man. Rome will be back, man. But look. Without further ado, just to go ahead and stall for the one time, Lim. Open us up with what's been happening in the world. Tell us a little bit about this Jay Z stuff and
Oh man, it's the
just
the internet and the media outlets have been going crazy. It's been hard trending for the last 48-hour cycle. So basically, the news is it came out of, I don't think it was Monday morning, Monday evening, that allegedly, we must say allegedly, someone has cited a lawsuit against Jay Z, a minor, of something that happened in 2000 or something like that, long time ago. But we got to realize, everybody, with the Diddy case going on, and Jaguar Wright had said, a lot of people, Cat Williams predicted at the beginning of the year, this is going to be the year of what they say. It's going to be the year of everybody, the truth coming to light.
he
That's
said
what Cat Williams,
he said the reckoning. This
the
is the
debt reckoning. That's it, the reckoning. Cat Williams said it's going to be a reckoning this year, and boy, he wasn't lying. Was he lying?
no, he ain't lying. Hey, the boy, hey, I'm with you when you're right. The boy ain't lying.
He wasn't lying. So what we're looking at now, again, we say allegedly. But I will say with that, Jaguar, who actually said that Diddy, Sean Combs was gonna be in some hot water this year, she said Jay-Z was worse on the Pierce, I think it was a Pierce show, outlet show. She was on there, and after that show, everybody, a desist letter pursued that show. Do not mention their name. So it's a lot brewing right now. Depending on what side of the fence you on, you have your opinions about it. But what I will say, as far as we're concerned, is this: if any person, human being, adult, is having inappropriate interactions with children, they got to go. That's where I'm at with it. They got to go. Now that could be your favorite personality. Your
Wait. For the sake of arguing,
Go ahead.
5 more minutes. Just five,
Go ahead.
we're gonna spend 5 more minutes on this.
Okay. All right.
I had these conversations all the time in the barbershop, right? And I just want to know, as an inquisitive kid, like I was a young kid right then, and I'm just curious to understand, wrong. Like when I was younger, right? My auntie was married. Excuse me, she wasn't married, but she had our first kid when she was 13. One of my
Okay.
aunties, right?
All right.
And
All
then
right.
one of my other aunties got married at 14, and they were in relationships really young. And then some of my favorite artists, Sam Cooke had this banging song, and the name of it was "She Was Only 16." And Rick James had a song called "She Was Only 17." And your boy Elvis Presley, I ain't gonna go there. But the premise is, I just want to know, Lim, when did this change from some rules being regular? And I'm not a pedophile. I don't like young women, right? But for the sake of argument,
Okay.
I just want to be able to understand, when did this change? When did the rules change that we can't date young women? Please help me.
Okay. All right. Let's do this. From a biological standpoint, fellas and audience, I will say this is just from a biological standpoint. A man naturally wants to procreate with the youngest, i.e., virgin, young lady that's available. This is nothing new. This is still practiced in a lot of cultures, just not in America, right? So I will say this: that's not new. My grandparents, I'll go on record right now and say they were married for 60 years. They got married at 13 and 16. Now this was a different time, right? They were, and so they got married at that age, and so it was just, but I will say this. I think when you start talking about how America is very sensitized when it comes to the psychology of a young lady at 15, 14, her emotional disposition. Does she truly understand what she's engaging in if she's dealing with? Now, we're not talking about a teenage boy, y'all. We talking about a man well off, 25, 35. Now, it's one thing you say, okay, high school sweethearts. I'm 16, she 14. We talking about dudes that's 30, 25, 40 that are dating women 16, right? 14 or interested in women 14. And we don't get into the R. Kelly Aaliyah thing. We ain't gonna do that right now. But it's from a biological standpoint, to answer your question, it's natural. I know people don't, they don't not gonna like that. But from an ethical, moral, emotional, psychological, it's a that woman, that young lady's at a disadvantage. It is what it is.
I,
She's at a disadvantage.
I hear you, and so for the sake of time, that ain't the subject tonight.
I know it's not. We go that'll take us in a whole nother show.
Right. So for my that ain't the subject tonight. I wanted
Right.
them to come on in here with the hot topics,
Right.
and Jay Z and Puffy them happens to be the hot
Trending
topic.
topics. Right.
So now that we talked on that, let's
Right.
get into the real meat and potatoes, if you will, right? Let's talk about the stay-at-home mom, right, or dad, if you will. I
Right.
ain't gonna disassociate the dad. It's just not a lot of them that I know of personally. So we'll talk about the stay-at-home mom. Is that really considered a real job, Romy? Like, do you think if baby girl is a mom
Oh,
and she
uh
taking
oh.
I hear some noises.
That
Oh,
is true.
she's taking care of the kids and the family and cooking and cleaning. Is that equivalent to going to a 9 to 5 and actually bringing in the actual bacon limb? What do you say, man? What do you say?
Well, we have to before we answer that question, we gotta go back. So America, the golden years, everybody considers the golden years of America, the 50s. And I did some research. And in the 50s, for y'all who don't know, for my audience who don't know, 84% of stay-at-home parents were mothers. So that was 84%. Now, just mark that. And I'm gonna take you down the road. In 1960, that number dropped down to 49%. So we went from 84% one parent household, excuse me, single parent income. That means the men were bringing home the bacon, the women staying at home. This is 84% from 1950. That number dropped down to 49%. Now, what were some of the factors that were causing this? Well, from my research that I read, World War II had just happened in the 50s. To give you some context, a lot of these jobs, they had a lot of jobs that were tailored towards men, where America was going through a financial rebirth after that war. So they were coming home, or they were already home, and they were coming home to steady work. So in those days, ladies and gentlemen, you could buy a house in America, you could have a two two children, so four people home, and one income was able to substantiate or sustain a family. What happened between the 50s to the 60s? Well, there was pre-liberation movement, there was a civil rights movement. And here was a caveat, Los, you might like. Even though 84% of women were staying home in the 50s, it was said that that didn't pertain to black women. They said black women were still holding out more jobs or still were working at a higher rate than their Caucasian counterpart. Just hold on to that. So that means the women, the white women, were staying at home, but a lot of black women were single, even were working with husbands. This is something that people don't talk about, or either they were single parents. So to give you some context, I want to just say that I don't know if there's a number, but there's a drastic change and shift from 1950 to 1960 and 1970, y'all, 48%. It was a 1% change. And we know after that, it just went down dramatically. So today, to bring y'all to code to speed today, 16%, well, let's say 30% of single family homes. It's only the number is 30%. So that means 70% of women and men are working two parent households. Only 30% of women in America can stay home. And we're gonna get into this. Y'all gotta hear this part. What that's saying, ladies and gentlemen, for those who are in the back on the nosebleed seats, it's saying to them that the financial disposition or the financial position you have to have for your wife to stay home, you are now in the top 10, 15, 20% of men. You can't be an average Joe making $48,000 a year, for sure not in LA, for sure not in New York, for sure not in Chicago, and you think you're gonna take care of a woman and some kids. I'm gonna bring it to y'all. Go ahead.
That's deep. Go ahead, bring it to Rome. That's deep.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Ron.
Hey, hey, no, I'm sorry. First of all, folks, I'm sorry because it's really windy and it's affected my internet. But I'm gonna use the phone, man. I don't have the stats that you have in front of me, but I'll say this: when it comes to is it really a real job? I'll say absolutely. I think where our topic came from, my man Gilly was saying he had a conversation with his wife, and his wife was saying that basically the stay-at-home mom, her job is just as important as the young lady who's working, but she's coming home and she's the wife and the mom. And she was saying that stay-at-home mom is doing just as much work. And he was like, no, there's no way. He was like, once them kids go off to school, what's she doing? Sitting there watching Young and the Restless, General Hospital. He's like, the other woman at work doing stuff that people don't want to do. Like, hey, I know this ain't your job, but I need you to do X, Y, Z. So in my opinion, if you the stay-at-home mom or the dad in this case, it's a lot of that going on. It's a lot of women who in pharmaceutical sales, who are in a lot of prestigious thing, content creators. They're making some serious money, and somebody's got to watch those kids. A lot of people. I mean, man, you guys wouldn't believe some of these daycare prices. Anytime your daycare prices is a mortgage note, I mean, come on, man. You got people paying 1,200 per month for two kids, one kid, depending on where you are. That adds up. So when you start getting two and three kids, somebody got to stay home, or you're gonna have to work that third shift. So I think when it comes to is it a real job? Absolutely. You changing diapers, you do. And let's think about the people who have twins. Let's think about the people who have triplets right out the gate.
Oh
You
man.
know, I mean, one child is enough at one time, let alone having two at one time. So, this would be one of those times where if we had a young lady on here who's been through that, they can tell you, like, hey, it ain't no easy job. That's my take.
I'm gonna stir the pot. Yeah, either. Let me just stir the pot right quick, Lil. This for you. So what I was really thinking is, even if that is a real job, which I understand that it is, and I agree with Rome that it is, should we be evaluated on if these kids are on the honor roll, or they're the president of the social society, or they captain of the basketball team? Shouldn't we kind of judge the mama based on the ability of how smart the kids are? Do they know their numbers, their ABCs, and one, two, one, two, threes, or do they like are they dumb, or do they use common sense, or is she just I'm watching TV and the real love of Atlanta, Real Housewives of Atlanta, and go ahead and do your own homework? Like, are we really judging them based on this being a job? Because at your real job at Kaiser, they do something that's called
An
a
evaluation.
60, 90 days evaluation, right?
Right.
I'm
That's
gonna
right.
tell you if you are doing a good job or not. I'm gonna evaluate you based on your performance. So am I out of pocket, Lim?
So
Or
so to answer your question, I like that, but I'm gonna answer your question. It depends on if the mom is doing. This is very important now. If she's doing what you call at home school care, meaning she's not depending on the schools to educate the kids. She's saying, I'm going to educate my kids myself. Now, if a woman does that, I wouldn't allow her to say that unless she has some level of education herself. You know what I'm saying? Hey, wait, watch out now. I'm just gonna say it. Wait a minute. You can't say we're gonna do stay-at-home care and schooling, and you, you barely skid through, and you didn't like school. We got to come on now. We got to say what we got. Let me do my Stephen A. right quick. We just got to say what we got to say, right? Stephen A. say, listen. He say, now wait a minute. So you need to have a BA or better, and you need to have patience. That's the number one thing when you're trying to do homeschooling. You need patience and you need a level of education so the children are benefiting from what you have to offer. And I'm going to say this, ladies, you may not like it. Just being their mom doesn't mean you're qualified to teach them mathematics, English, proper grammar. I'm just going to say, I said it. I'll step on in there. I said it. So we have to be honest with our level of education as well. Now, I'm not saying, ladies, you need a PhD. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying there is because I've heard women say this about their children. They're bringing home homework that they don't understand. Single mothers are saying this. I'm getting my child is bringing home homework that I don't even understand. So if you're it, you have to be honest with your level of education, and you wanting to save money is not an excuse for them getting a proper education. I'm gonna say one more thing. I was on the campus today, and this campus Los Oak Christian Academy, okay, in Westlake Village, California.
That's like, yeah, my niece, my shout out to Oaks. My niece went there and she
Okay,
graduated with honors and she went on to finish her degree at Miami, but she went to Oaks. But go ahead,
okay.
keep
So the tuition there.
it. But that's what my brother was saying. He said if I could pay it up front and then we could get a scholarship on the back end. If I
Right.
pay it up front
Right.
because she's so great at academics. But go ahead, Lim. I'm gonna let you finish your
So they start fourth. My point is they start fourth grade to 12th grade there. This is one of the most prestigious schools in the Los Angeles area based upon the fact of how many kids not only graduate from college, but go on to be heads of state, government, etc. at all. Okay. So the reason why I'm bringing this up is that level of education that you're getting versus and this goes to even to a public school level. And I was talking to the administrator today about this. She said, well, we're offering our kids, there's no way you can, and she said this with a straight face, there's no way you can get this at a public school because what they're giving their kids from the 10th grade on, they're already starting their college courses. So by the time they step on a college campus in their freshman year, all this information is remedial. They've seen it. Whereas a
question.
public school,
Can I jump in and say
I
this
know
real quick?
we getting on something else, but yeah, let me
No,
just say
no,
something right quick.
I'm glad that you're here.
Go ahead, go
But what
ahead.
I'm saying is that comes with a whole different package of different stuff too. Like,
Yeah,
although that they go there, there's a lot of weird kids that's socially awkward there too. And they
that's
get
true.
into a lot of hard drugs and like so it's a lot of stuff when you talk about that. And the reason I'm saying you diving a little bit deep and you stretching it, you moving the goalposts is because we weren't talking about the mother educating the kids themselves because you don't have to have a BA or a college degree to be resourceful, right? What you can do is say, hey, because I know me, I have a college degree. I have a BA, right? I double majored. Well, my son bring home some Eureka math, and this is a different era. I don't understand it. I'm gonna tell you right now, I do not understand this Eureka math that they have right now, and it's a different level. They teach you a different way of adding, subtracting, division. Everything is different. I can show you the way I learned it. But no, Dad, that's not right. You got to do this and I'm looking like it ain't right. It is so, but my son is 10 and super advanced. He using words that I definitely wasn't using at 10. And so at the end of the day, I love to see him flourish, but I'm super resourceful. So I can easily go pay a tutor, call the teacher, use my resource. And that's what college is about. Let's talk about this. College is about being resourceful. You should always be able to not only do great time management, but it will show you resources. If you don't understand something, you should be able to figure it out. period. And I think that's what college prepares you for as well. So right now, I can send my son teacher a cold email. They'd be like, I understand why he said that. Well, let me give him some additional help. Well, let me help him before classes or after class. So what I'm saying to you is, let's get back to the subject. Yes, I do believe it's a real, true job. They should be judged on that. And if you are staying at home with your kids, that should be considered your job, i.e., your dinner should be really good. I'm sorry, I'm gonna say it. I'm sorry. You get mad at me and argue with your mama then. So I see you wrong. So I think your dinner should be good. I think your kids' grades should be good. I think the house should be clean. Now it's a difference if we both working. Now I'm gonna say that. Let me preface my comments. If we both working, we both have shared responsibility. I should be able to help you with a lot of this domestic stuff. Yeah, I said it too. I should be able to wash some of the dishes, clean the house. I should be able to help with the kids, help with their homework. It should be a shared responsibility. But if we splitting it up and I'm working and you staying at home, I'm being judged at my job at all these bills I'm paying, and you should be judged by these kids and how well they doing or the lack thereof in school, being respectful, education, all of that. You should be on top of it. I shouldn't have to come home and wash no dish. That's just my personal take. Come on, Ron, what you got, baby?
Hey, y'all boys hit that. As Lynn would say, get out of there. Hey, my take on this whole thing is, what happens when the brother has married somebody who might only have a GED and they don't have a college background and things like that. And you set it up to where she's the housewife and things like that. She may not be the best person to homeschool them or to even help them out with the homework. And because of your work, you travel a lot, you bring it home the bacon. So in that case, you have to decide, A, do I get a tutor? Do all of those type of things. So she wouldn't be graded on being a person there to making sure that she'll be there as the drive, like the Lyft driver, the Uber driver, taking them to the tutor, keeping the house clean, doing all the other things. Because just today, just like you said with your son, my daughter's in 7th grade. She was in there struggling. I'm looking at her, I'm like, listen, I can teach you how to get the answer. But I don't know all of this new stuff that they teaching. Y'all going all the way around the block. It's kind of like, have y'all ever been in the car with somebody and it's like, hey, Lim, I know I ain't from LA, man, but I know we ain't have to go all the way this way, bro. We could have went straight down this right here and been right there. Right on Crenshaw, we could have been right at the restaurant. You said, well, man, I just wanted to hit this. Man, you should have told me that. You wasted time. So I tell my daughter, like, look, tomorrow we going to this tutor because I can't teach you the way that they teach it. So the parents got to be real. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Yeah.
man, just think about it. When did you graduate high school? We won't say. When did you graduate college? We won't say. It's been that long ago. It wasn't yesterday and it wasn't last year. So all of the stuff that we learned and the ways that we learned it, the teachers are teaching these kids a totally different way. It's to the point now where I'm like, man, y'all really, it's like they taking y'all all the way around the block when we could just get the answer. It's like, I wish the teacher would just say, long as you can show me how you got your answer, you good. Because all this new stuff is crazy to me. It really is. They think they're doing a good job, but in my opinion, it's making things a lot harder, man. So I think not every single housewife is going to have that type of level of education to be the one doing that. But that's where the man has to come in, or whoever that main breadwinner is, and say, hey, we got to get a tutor in order for us to get these kids on the honor roll. Because it
I,
ain't always going to be mom or dad doing it.
I shouldn't say this, and I shouldn't go here, Lim. I'm gonna bring you in as I say this because it's gonna definitely rock the boat. So, but what I'm saying to you is, if you, I shouldn't say it. Ooh, this is gonna be hard for me to say. But what I'm saying to you is, if you have kids, and you said it depends on who bringing home the bacon. Are we talking about turkey bacon? We talking about Oscar Mayer? Because it depends. Because if you bring home bread, I should be able to put you in a good school. And even if your mama not smart or the parents not smart or whatever, it's about the kids working hard to do this, right? So my thing is, if you put yourself in position to have kids and to let her stay at home and she ain't got to work, Then these are some real difficult conversations. Because baby girl, maybe you need to work there. Maybe we need to both work there for this $1,200 daycare that Rome was talking about. Go ahead, Lim.
No, I was gonna say I'm not advocating for women to do homeschooling that are not qualified to do it. I'm saying if a woman says she wants to do it, that she has to be to thine own self be true. Understand what you have to offer and what you're dealing with. That's all I'm saying. Now, to back to what you said. So if you saying that someone now let's talk about this. In California, y'all, we got to be honest. The average home price is $950,000, a million, and that don't get you but a bathroom. Okay. So, in order for you to be able just to buy a home, we're not even talking about uh, who gonna stay and all that. Just to be able to buy a home here in California, I'm not talking about a condo. I'm talking about a house, single family residence. You're looking at well over $1 million, probably 1.5 for something decent, depending on where you're gonna live. Now, I say that to say this: you have to factor that mortgage, how many children you're going to want to have, who you're marrying, who you're selecting, where y'all gonna live, what you gonna drive, how you gonna educate your kids. See, these conversations, y'all, we gotta step back. We're not even having these conversations when we meet people. Let's think about that. Most of the time, when people are dating, they're not having these conversations, even when they have the intentions. I'm not talking about people who don't have the intent, but even when they have the intention to be married, to raise a family, to the quality of life that you're gonna live. These are the conversations we need to be having. And sadly enough, by the time we get to these conversations, y'all, it's well, I ain't got it. Wait, Rome. Let me say this. My buddy. This is an honest to God truth. My buddy he had in his mind that he wanted his child to go through private school from the rootum to the tootum, right out the womb, private school, right? The best of school. That was his thing. He was paying $3,000 a month for a child at 5, 6, and 7 to go to the best kindergarten private school. 3,000 a month. And you know what he told me? He would never tell the baby mama this. It was killing his pocketbooks. He was, you know what I'm saying? He was fighting to get that money. But to his credit, he always found the way to make it happen. $3,000 a month is a lot of money. That's some people's mortgage payment, right? He was paying for a 4 and 5 year old to go to basically, I guess you would say, kindergarten. So all these conversations need to be had because I'm gonna tell you, we're not equally yoked. If I'm dating a woman who education ain't that big for her, I mean not for her, but the kids. I want them to go to private school. She's like, oh no, we ain't gotta do all that. Just put them in public school. That's a problem. You looking at me, Los, like I'm speaking Mandarin. Come on
Well,
here and talk to me.
I mean, $36,000 a year is extremely excessive for a kindergartner based on pride, huh? And based on what you thought it should be with your kid being in private school to learn ABCs, 1, 2, 3s, because we learning the same thing in kindergarten. But what I can say, look, y'all, I see the way your legs up, Lim. We old. Let's just say today my birthday, right? Let me just say this, Lim.
Happy birthday, Los.
Yeah. Happy birthday, bro.
I didn't say that for that reason, but the point I'm trying to say is we owe, right? I say we owe, and because have y'all ever heard of this term called the soft lifestyle?
Yeah, I've heard of it. I've
Right.
heard of
So
it.
I mean, so Lim, you more so in the streets than Rome and myself, right? And so my thing is, let me just read to y'all this definition of this era called the soft lifestyle. It's called soft life. And the soft life refers to a lifestyle of comfort and relaxation with minimum challenges or stress. Some people use the term in reference to a life that involves and is a product of wealth and luxury, while others interpret it as a simple being of being simplified and unburdened from stress and all responsibilities. So, so this is the reason I said y'all owe, or we owe, if you will, It's just showing you it's a different era. Some women feel if I'm fine and you really want to be with me, come on, Lim, get out of there, get out, hey, get on up out of there. Hey, some women feel like if I'm fine and you want to be with me and you got money, why should I have to work? I should be able to do all the housely duties, and a real man should be able to take care of all the responsibilities. Come
No,
on, Rome.
no, I'm gonna let Roman, but before I gotta correct you on this. In the soft princess, they call it princess treatment. That's the official term. In the princess treatment, they don't want to work at all. But watch this. They want you to hire a housekeeper and a nanny so they don't literally have to do nothing. Right? And watch this. Some of them feel they so cold, they'll tell you, and some days if I don't want to lift a leg, I ain't lifting the leg. It's like, wait a minute now. Wait, you got a housekeeper, a nanny, and you can't lift a leg? Well then what the hell are you around here for? What do I need you for?
You know what, Lim? I normally will argue with you on this point. I know you know me. I always take
Right.
up. I normally will argue, but I saw this thing, and this one I'm gonna pass it wrong because I know he's gonna love this. I saw this thing on Instagram recently, and it was with your boy Travis Hunter, the potential MVP. I mean,
Mhm.
excuse me, Heisman Trophy Award
Heisman. Right.
in college, right? Played for Colorado with Coach. Shout out to Coach Sanders, right? He's doing a
Right.
phenomenal job over there. But your boy called, and so he was dating this young lady, and the young lady mixed. I don't know what she is, right? But he dating a young lady, and she was like, ugh. I wasn't attracted to him at all. And matter of fact, she said he was all in my DMs and I kept him on red. I did not respond to him. But it was one day I was bored and I wanted to go to one of my friends' party I was invited to. And then I saw his DM and then I invited him to come. And ever since then, we fell in love. And she act like she didn't understand my man's stats and where he headed. Well, when I tell you my man might be the next popping thing, that's what he might be. I'm not I don't read futures. I'm not Cleo, but it looked like my man is the next thing. So I'm gonna pass this over to my brother Rome. You tell me, because we really still on the same subject. We talking about the princess girl era or the soft era, and women don't have to work. What you got for us, Romy?
Man, what I see with a lot of the up and coming young athletes is that a lot of times, you know, you going off of look good. Like you got to think about it. Social media is at their hand. He just said he was in her DM the whole time. These cats not even running game like we had to do. You had to go up to the young lady and ask the young lady what's her name. Saying you had to find out what her interests are, whether she was in your class, whether you kept seeing her as you was going to your class and things. And you got to remember, these kids is getting NILs right now, which mean they already got bread before he's going to the league. They
That's right.
riding around the campus with phantoms right now.
Mhm.
That wasn't happening back when I was in college. These cats was riding around with an Explorer, an Expedition, and that was the hottest thing.
Yeah.
Now, when them cats started getting the money when they was going to the league, then you seen the beans.
Right.
Then you seen the foreigns. So what I would say to the young men that's out there and you an athlete and you have any ability and talent, be careful who you date out there because some people are with you only because of your money and your status. The fact that you're dating me, you don't have to play the game, but you're going to understand the game that I play because I can't put a ring on your finger if you just go be sitting there looking like, what is this game? I don't like it. I have no interest in it. So I just feel like when you get to that first round status, because you in the NFL, they got 7 rounds. If you get drafted in the first 3, it's guaranteed money. Buddy is going to be drafted. You just said he's one of the Heisman candidates, which is true. He's going to be drafted in the first round, most likely not going past 3.
Right.
So when you got that level of talent, the money is going to come after his 3rd year. And you got to make sure you have, we used to call him a ride or die on
What?
your team. You know what I'm saying? Where I'm from, it's the Buquishas in them. The Buquishas in them is going to have your back from day one because she was there for you. She was there when you was in school. She was helping you study. She was helping you get yourself together. Y'all like to say get out of there.
Get
I'm
out of
just telling
there.
you.
Get
Hey,
out of
I'm
there.
just telling.
Oh,
Get out of
hey,
there.
hey, you
Get
didn't hit
out
the
of there.
door with that boy Lim. Get on the
Get
phone.
out of there, man. Get on out of there, man. look at Macaulay. Look at Macaulay Culkin. Look at this. Look, he look, yeah, yeah. look at
Uh,
yeah, Macaulay Culkin over here.
Me, I think he preaching right. Me personally, because it's proven. And the reason, and so look, Lim, before you get mad, it's proven. I'm gonna name you a few athletes that I definitely know for certain they got the Boquishas of the world. Let's just start with the person you don't like with LeBron James, right? And then we'll go over to LL. We'll go to Samuel Jackson. We'll go to Ice Cube. I mean, the list goes on and on and on when you talk about Snoop. That's kind of a gamble. But we'll just say Snoop because he's been married forever, right? We'll just say Snoop, right? Because at the end of the day, they've been married forever. We could even say Ghost, Omar, whatever his last name. Right? So all I'm saying to you is some people that got some bonquishas of the world that has been holding them down since when they wasn't nothing. Mike Jones, Pastor Mike Jones said it really good. He said, back then they didn't want me. Now I they all on.
Hey, look. Now let me jump in here. Let me jump in. I'm gonna switch gears a little bit. I want to talk about because we haven't talked about this. The flip side of the stay-at-home mom is the women now who don't have that luxury. I want to talk about them for a little bit. And the reason why I do is because you've heard a lot of women say who quote unquote say I have to go get this dough because I can't wait to depend on someone else or it takes two incomes. So let me talk about those for a second. Those young ladies who are in a situation where they have to work, okay? Now, I would surmise to them, they probably have not, on a subconscious level, understood how attached they are to going and getting the bag. Here's what I mean by that. So, if these young ladies were to meet a man who did have the financial wherewithal to quote unquote sit them down from their career, they probably would like it for a season. But then there will come a time where they realize they have now attached their identity to their ability to earn money. And this is where women are not honest about that. Like, yes, you started in this position out of necessity, but then something happened where you shift your femininity to a masculine perspective because you had to develop that to go keep getting this bag. Now, do you want to sit down sometime and take a break? Absolutely. But do you want to do it forever like they did in the 50s? No, you don't. And I challenge women to be honest about that. They say they want that man. Let me say that. They say they want that rich man who gonna sit them down. Wait on, hold on. Who gonna sit them down? But then when they sit down, that come with a whole lot of trickerations, ladies. Because if I sit you down and I'm in the top 1%, it's my world and my highway. It's my way or the highway. Let me tell you what I mean by that. You'll have everything you want. You want your maid and your nanny. That's fine. But if I need to go tiptoe and sidestep in the name of love, R. Kelly, if I need to do the name of love sidestep and be respectful about it, then you have to say that comes with the territory. Because this man took me from working a 9 to 5 career to give me the life that I thought I wanted. And why am I saying this? Because sometimes we think the grass is greener and it's not. Not every woman is built to be able to deal with a man who tells them, I'm going to give you what you want, but it comes with some other things too. Come on in here, Lowe's. Talk to me.
So you telling me a woman got to compromise their integrity to be bought is paid for a price? Because if you got all this money and you take me out of my career, I got to be able to acquiesce and bow down and yes, a master. Is that what we saying?
That soft lifestyle cost, baby. The
Okay,
soft lifestyle cost.
okay, so let me just say this. On the flip, let me just reverse this thing like Allen Iverson. Let me give you a crossover real quick. Left to the right. So I could talk about real life experiences, right? I know I'm gonna give you two cases.
Okay.
Old school, new school. Old school, I use something personal. And I'm sorry, my parents here, so I'm gonna use them as an example, right? And I hope they don't get back to me because it's my birthday. They probably watching. Hey, mom, I love you. So check this out. My mama, right, when she was married with my dad, his whole theory was, man, I wanted to be her knight in shining armor. I took her away from her situation. It was a lot of kids over there. She had several siblings. She had to take care of her siblings. Man, I snatched up from all of that. She, got her a great lifestyle. She was a virgin, and this is what I wanted. I ran the streets. I did my thing. I got a whole bunch of other kids, but this one, I'm changing my life, and which he did. With his fairness, with all due fairness, he got saved and got in the church and took care of his wife. Here, baby, here go my check. Just take care of my kids that's outside, our kids together. I'm gonna come home. I'm gonna do the right thing, right? But that's a great soft lifestyle, right? My mom did work. Well, her fairness, because I know she's gonna get mad because I ain't tell her story. My mom did work, but at the end of the day, my dad was extremely successful at what he did at working for Ford, and he held the family together, 2-parent household, etc. Right? But the premise is, my mom gathered and gained some resentment, right? Because what come on and hear him, come closer. Because what my mom felt like is, what if I would have forgot all of that and went to do what I wanted to do in my earlier years? Hey, huh? Because I was a young tender when you grabbed me, 18, 19. I ain't know no better. But what if I would have went on to college? What I really wanted to do? What if I would have followed after my dreams and my goals and my ambitions and still did what I wanted to do instead of being able to acquiesce to my quotes, my husband, and do what he wanted to do because he was the one that was in the military and more stable and had a house and all of that. Okay, that's one. And I gave you all my personal. See, that's how I love y'all. I love my audience because I'm giving y'all my personal life, right? Okay, Flip. I just talked to one of my guys today. We talked for a long time, and now he contemplating going through separation. Similar thing. He got his wife, and now we talking about the new era. He's my age. He got his wife as a young tender, right out of college, early 20s, knocked her up, 4, 5 kids, 4. And so my thing is, and now she at a point, now that she 40, she like, hey, I ain't satisfied. Like, what about my goals, my dreams, and my ambitions? I've been my whole identity, i.e. Lim, not my career, but it's these kids and you. Where do I stand? And so my thing, although she a stay-at-home mom, that ain't enough. Her life is not being fulfilled from her purpose of what she really wanted to do in life. So how is that fair, Lemuel? I'm sorry, King Lim. Come on, Lim. I mean, Rome, one of y'all.
Rome, go ahead, Rome. I'll come back. Go ahead,
Uh,
Rome.
all right. Let me touch on that, man. Hey, that's good what you brought up.
Thank you, sir.
What the thing about the older generation to the new generation is, if you notice, your mom still had a dream. The new generation still have a dream. So what I would say is, the thing that has to happen when you date anyone, what is your dream? What is you feel your purpose is? Things like that. Because if you have the desire to go to college, okay, what degree were you going for? Things like that. Because the day and time that we live in right now, um, it's some things that you can do without a degree, and there's some things that you have to do that requires a degree. Like, you can't be a doctor without a degree. It just doesn't work. We understand that. You can't be a CPA without having a proper education. What I would say when it comes down to, um, the young lady that you're dating and them, I don't think that they ever lose that vision and that purpose. So this goes back to that soft lifestyle we was talking about. All of you athletes that's coming up, you better ask that young lady, what is your dream? What do you want to do? What do you feel your purpose is? Because I feel like, that's a thing that LeBron's going to be going through here pretty soon when he decides to throw the towel in, because his wife is already doing the podcasting thing. She had opened up a little shop that she was doing with like a juicing thing back in Miami when he was there. So I think you always have to stay having those conversations. Otherwise, she's on the other side in resentment, wanting to, the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. We call it bargaining. They're gonna live in that bargaining stage of what we call the grief stage of shoulda, coulda, wouldas. And you don't want to have your spouse that you love dealing with shoulda, coulda, wouldas. So what I would say is, if you working out there, you successful, funnel her dream along the way because you never want her. Because after a while, guess what? All the kids gonna be in school. What is she doing then? There's only so much cleaning she can do. There's only so much ironing she can do. There's only so much cooking she can do. Because the kids eventually gonna get up out of that house.
Just to be personal, and I don't want to do this. I should have did the strawberry letter 22, but like we always do. But just to be personal, like he said, I did fund her dream. She wanted to do the real estate stuff. She wanted to do other stuff. You know, I paid for money for that, but she wasn't motivated. She didn't see it all the way through, right? Or she didn't do this, or she didn't do that, right? And so I'm looking like, see, to me, I get it. The woman you married at 20, and I don't know if nobody told you this, but the woman you married at 20 is not the same woman at 40. It's just not. We evolve and you're supposed to grow together as couples, is what you're supposed to do. So my thing is, you like Rome just said, Rome really gave you some nuggets in this free game. I don't know if y'all want to take notes, but Rome just told you you're supposed to do gradual check-ins. So you're supposed to understand, did that dream change? Or I thought you wanted to be real estate. You want to be a doctor? I thought you wanted to be a lawyer. What? Oh, you want to do hair? Like, whatever the dream is, you got to follow it along the way to be able to support that is what you want to do. And that's called gradual check-in. Same thing you do with your job with the evaluations that I just alluded to. Go on, Long Limb. What you got?
This is a great. Now, this has really gotten into something that I really enjoyed. Now, we have to talk about this. Now, with your buddy, I'm gonna use your buddy because I like what you said, and I'm gonna use two other people that everybody know: Steph Curry's wife and LeBron's wife. I'm using both of them to talk about your buddy. Steph Curry's wife came out and made a statement about 5 or 6, 7 years ago. I was jealous of my own husband because the entire world and our world centers around him, and nobody ain't asking for me.
Is hold on? Is that a
Hold on, hold
quote?
on,
Is that
hold
a
on.
quote?
It's
Because
not
I
a direct
was
quote. This a general synopsis of what she felt. That's how she felt.
okay.
And after that, Steph went and bought her a restaurant and got her restaurant to give her something to do. Now wait a minute, wait a minute. LeBron James' wife told him when he went to Miami, the only way I'm going to Miami and leaving Cleveland is your behind got to marry me. I'm not going to Miami as your girlfriend and baby mama. Now, now she has the podcast, but she revealed throughout the marriage, she's always felt like she hasn't had her own life and her world centered around him. Now, let me bring this back to your boy. I really like your boy scenario. How come the optics are the only time a woman leaves a man is if he's putting hands on her or he's cheating on her? None of which, under my understanding, with your scenario with your boy, is the case. She's in a scenario where she's lived through her marriage, raised kids, defined her life by her family, and now she wants something different. Watch where I'm gonna flip this. Has nothing to do with anything he did. He didn't cheat. He didn't hit her. Because all the ladies want to say, "Oh, that's the reason why women leave." No, 75% of marriages, women are leaving because of reasons just like this. Not the extremes. He didn't do nothing extreme, ladies. It just like this. Now, back to what you. Let me go back to this one subtle point. Now, there are women who right now who are working 2 and 3 jobs who wish and pray. They Sierra prayer ain't for no man. You know what it's for? Well, it is. But it's for the type of man who will let me stay at home and raise these kids. I've been praying for him. Lord, bring me that man. And now here you got a woman on the other end who got the soft girl life, right? And she's sitting up here. The moral of the story for the listening audience and those in the nosebleed seats over there, the grass is always not greener. Now I'm going to go Bible on you. You ready to go Bible on me? Godliness with contentment is great gain. At some point in our lives, men and women, we've got to find our place of contentment within ourselves. That don't have nothing to do with our kids. That ain't got nothing to do with our career. That ain't got nothing to do with our husbands, our wives, our family. I'm happy with me. So anything you can do is enhance, not take away. Woo! Come on, I'm about to dance the dance on this one, boy. Woo! I'm gonna do a dance on this one. Get out of there. Come on, bring it on. Bring it on there, Los.
Go ahead, Rome. You know, I got a lot to say, but I'm gonna go ahead. I'm a team player. Pass the
Hey,
ball.
no, no, Lim, that was good. Los, what you said is good. And what I'll say, to your homeboy's example that like you said, Los, people evolve, but I really don't think a lot of women really understand when men say I do, it's not really something that a lot of men really think about. Men think about having a family one day, but we don't look forward to the wedding day, like how women grow up playing with Barbie and Ken and all of that type of stuff. I say all of that to say, we often say on here a lot, men marry hoping the woman doesn't change. What do I mean by doesn't change? Her characteristics. I'm marrying you based off the woman you are today. The woman you showing me today is that, if for those who out there having premarital sex, you showing me you can put it down in the bedroom, you showing me you're gonna hold me down through thick and thin, you showing me that you can support me, you showing me that you love me, you showing me loyalty, everything that men is looking for. If any of those dynamics change along the way that he was looking at because you had those traits, let's just say you have 5 kids now, and now you're tired. I don't want to go out. I don't want to go, travel with you anymore. I don't want to go to the casinos with you anymore. I'm a different woman in my 40s than I was in my 20s. At some point, it's going to affect that man because these are the things that the man fell in love with. You were an outgoing person. Now you're a homebody person and you don't want to do anything. We understand that, you're going to slow down, it's a different time and things like that. But you got to realize that even women understand that we call it let your hair down. They might go to a dinner or lunch with their girls. They go and I just read something the other day. It said that men, they saying it's healthy for your man to go out 2 to 3 times out of the week. We talking per week.
It said 3. I
Three,
read.
okay. So 3 times per week. So that could be going over there and playing cards with Los. He got a card game party at his house. That could be out there into Beverly Hills with Lim, going to all them high places he like, and knowing I'm only gonna do one round and I'm disappearing. But hey, it's my 2 day, it's my 2 to 3 days. So if we need that, is what they saying. And let's just say early on he didn't show you that. You used to him being at home. Oh girl, he a homebody. But now he in the 40s, he a different person. And most women want the man to change, whether it be for the better. They want you to make more money. You could come in with 500,000, they want you to make 1 million because they want to see you doing better. They want to see you doing better in your community to thrive and be that successful person. So I just feel like it's difficult in that situation, Los, because it's one of those things where once that person changes, it changes the dynamics of everything that you said as a man, I do to. And it may not be biblical because they want you to just leave because of certain reasons, but it's the reality. And I always tell everybody, if you're not in that person's household, you can't tell them what's good for them and what's good for you. That's my take.
So in this instance, thank you, Ron. In this case, let me say this. I see all the hearts. Is there? I see all, but look, let me just say this though. In her case, I'm gonna play devil advocate, right? I'm gonna side with her a little bit, and because when and mainly because, like I said, my mama. So when your identity is you feel like it's been snatched from beneath you, and you want to take this time and period. Oh, I love this. Thank you. Remember, I encourage my audience or our audience, sorry, to go check out the one of our first episodes with OSHA, right? And I would encourage y'all to just go rewatch that episode, right? Because all I'm saying to you is this girl I'm talking about now lost her identity, right? And she trying to find herself, right? So in the meantime, I don't care what you do. I'm trying to find myself and who I am, right? And so if that means you got to go move out, separation, divorce, whatever it is, what's important is I got to find out who I am and love on myself, which I have been neglecting for many, many years. And if you can't respect that, then you can't respect it. That's what she's saying. But on the flip side, my man's saying, I have. And not only that, I've been really being father of the year. I'm taking all these kids. I'm picking up where you lacking. I'm paying the bills. I'm letting you, I'm affording you this soft woman era. I'm affording these trips you going on without me and with the kids. And I'm tired of this. And enough is enough. I'm out of here. And so what I see you, Lim. I'm out of here. But I'm telling you on the flip side, this is why when you check in, you can understand where we going with this thing. And if you check in, you won't be blindsided. You can kind of see a lot of this happening. See, Rome told you, I play cards. I kind of already know what's in your hand. If we play, it's four of us, and you ain't play that joker the first couple times, I know you got it. And I'm gonna get it out your hand. One way or another. You can hold it to the end if you want to, but I'm gonna make it come out. And I'm gonna do crazy strategic stuff by throwing the jack or the 10, a face card to make it come out. Those are strategies. And what I'm saying to you is this young lady fed up. And sometimes you got to let it play out. My brother, shout out to my brother Rob. One day my brother told me when I was working with him, he said, hey, Lo, sometimes at the job, you got to let the ball drop. I said, what that mean, bro? He said, at your job, you know how you doing all the work and you always covering for people. Sometimes you let it drop. Let the situation fail. Let it fall. And then who let the chips fall, how they gonna fall? And in my boy case, that's what I told him. Sometimes you gotta let it fall. Because God say, I know the ending from the beginning. I know the end from, I'm the author and the finisher of your faith. And sometimes you gotta just go ahead and let these dice roll how they gonna roll. Matter of fact, that's a scripture too. He say, you can shoot the dice, but I determine how they fall. Did y'all know that was a scripture? He say, you can shoot the dice, but I determine how they fall. I was like, oh, God, go. But that's it. That's for me. Go ahead.
I want to say this. So back this piggybacks to what you said about losing your identity, and I can argue that many people don't have an identity coming into a marriage, and they're looking for the marriage to become the identity. Because I did what I was supposed to do. I got married, I started a family, and sometimes that paradigm is so strong, nobody ever realizes that that's only part of you. That never the marriage, whether you're a woman or a man, that's only part of you. There's then so you don't have to get 40 years down the line and have this epiphany. And she's not alone. A lot of women go through this. You get 40 years down the line and have this epiphany. Oh, man, I just realized I want to be more than a mom and a wife. Good Lord. I could have never thought that. 40 years. It don't listen. Ladies and gentlemen, again, back to that those people up in the nosebleeds. They still there. Now, what I want to say is this. If you don't have an identity and a purpose for your life, I could argue you're probably not ready to get married. And I could argue it's not your spouse's job to give it to you and help you find it. Watch this. Some things are a one-on-one responsibility. Your self-esteem is for you, yourself. You have to cultivate it. That's not a group activity. So when we talking about purpose, we talking about you getting with your God, your Allah, your Buddha, your whatever, and deciding, Lord, what do you want my life to look like? What do you want it to resemble? And when you bring that person into my life, I'm not looking to siphon, extract. I'm looking to add value, and I want somebody to add value to me. Now here's the caveat. Yes, people get married early. And are we going to expect someone 18, 19, 20, 21 to have their life pattern all in order? No, no, no. But I could also argue maybe they shouldn't be getting married that young now. Things are so different. A lot of things are complicated. The finances that it takes, the levels that it takes of emotional support. Here's the word that women love to use. What is it? Emotional intelligence. The level of emotional intelligence it takes, if you believe in that, to navigate your own life, then navigate someone else's life. You have to be honest with yourself. Am I ready for that level of a responsibility emotionally, financially, spiritually, right? And if I'm not, even though I may want something, I have to be mature enough to say, I'm not ready.
What's your closing remarks, bro?
That's
Hey,
What's the closing?
y'all touched on some things tonight. Closing remarks. Well, piggybacking off what we was talking about earlier, when it comes to is the stay-at-home mom or dad a real job? Absolutely, it's a real job because you're providing, you're doing different things, you're taking care of that household. You know, from the dishes to the cleaning to diaper changes to doctor's appointments to all of those different things. I think the problem becomes when the kids go off to school. What are you doing then? You know, there's a story in the Bible where there was a wife that had too much time on her hands. And what did she do? She tried to get her hands on Joseph. And then she lied when he didn't want to sleep with her. So why am I bringing that up? I'm bringing that up because that is a time for you to cultivate your purpose, your dream, your vision. You talk to your man. Hey, I started out wanting to be a housewife. Now I'm at a different spot. I want to open up that bakery. You know, I always had a dream of doing XYZ. Whatever that is, you know, my brother Lowe's been on here talking about, you know, performance evaluations. Some companies do it twice a year. A lot of companies do it once a year. One thing I always say when you go out and you date, if y'all have kids, don't talk about the kids. It's not about the kids. It's about you and her. And y'all need to talk about what your vision is, what your plans are. What is our next big purchase? What are we planning on doing? Is it a house? Is it a car? You know, is it your business? You know, you got to talk about those things because if not, you can sit here and be 20 years married but be two separate individuals and you don't even know who you are because guess what, you were so focused on the kids for the last 18, 20 years that you lost yourself along the way. And that can be the man and the woman because let's be real, our kids are in sports. My kids playing the piano, basketball, yo ball, who ball, every kind of ball. It's just every time you turn around they doing something. So what I'm saying is you can lose yourselves as husband and wife just focusing on the kids if you don't have those performance evaluations. When we talk about what y'all call that lifestyle, the soft lifestyle, young men, young women, when you coming up in this generation right now with social media, be careful who's in your circle because too many of y'all have yes men in your circle. You don't have enough people telling you the real. I can tell you these two brothers right here, this is why I love these guys. They're gonna tell me, hey Ron, what you on, that's not good, man. It's gonna lead you down a path you're not ready to go. XYZ. If I had the wrong people in my circle, they can tell me, yeah, man, that's good. Guess what? I be behind bars, locked up, or some other stuff. So we gotta make sure you have a real circle if you're gonna have a circle. If you're gonna be a loner. But if you're gonna have a circle, have you some real ones and some day ones. I'm out, folks.
Appreciate you. Come on, Lim. What you got?
I rest my case. I'm going on to you. I rest my case. I said enough tonight.
Okay, well, look. All I'm gonna do is for the people in the back and the nosebleeds, just in case, because they didn't believe me about the dice scripture, right? It's Proverbs 16:33. Proverbs 16:33. We may throw the dice, but God determines how they fall. That's a real scripture. Told you that
Now,
was in
what verse is what? Now, what type of
Translation.
version is that? What translation is that?
PI to PI. Read them all. They all say the same thing. It's gonna say lot dice. It don't matter. Lot dice, whatever. I like the NLT, but the TI to PI. And I
Okay, bet.
that story a long time ago from my boy Rome. And so I end with a big mamaism, real fast. And Lim already said it, right? And he said, whatever glitters is not always go, or the grass is not greener on the other side. Big Mama said that. So I just want y'all to be able to focus in on if you marry is compromise. And I'm gonna talk to my man. Hopefully I can get him on here. I know it's real crucial time because he called me today on my birthday. We were talking about me and then it switched to him. But he was talking about real life stuff. That's why I brought it up. This is real life stuff. It's bittersweet, Los. I'm in a situation where I can thrive and do my own thing, but then my family is falling apart. So on one end, my life is going great. I got a great job, big house, all of this just got accepted. And then on this end, my wife want to do her own thing. She finding herself. She kumbaya without me. So I'm looking, what do I do? And I said, this sounds like a job for the Shield. And I brought it on up under the Shield. And so I appreciate y'all, man. Thank y'all so much for joining us. We can't wait to hear from y'all next week. We want y'all to write in to us, join in the comments, and we'll see Lim's. Look, we'll see Lim over here with his legs crossed like he 87, and we'll keep on doing the shows and giving y'all what y'all want. Until next week, see y'all next week, man.